Welcome again, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Yeah, you had a couple of great weekends.
Okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
we had some pretty good weekends. Me and old Kelly.
yeah, and that was the idea to talk about that today. But I think as last time, it's possible for us to go away and talk about everything else also. So
Yes.
yeah, great. How are you?
Everything's going pretty good, man. Pulling's starting to come to a close for me. My last show is next Saturday in Texas, ADBA show. That seals the deal for Dog of the Year for Kelly. So I just didn't want to miss the possibility to get a couple more points.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it was it was today. It was the APA Nationals.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
APA Nationals. I don't really it's nothing wrong with them. How can I say, not without being too political. I mean, it's not a lot of
yeah,
not a lot of good dogs that goes
yeah,
there. So it's kind of more on the lower end of the spectrum, if you would say, where UPF got to be the pinnacle, and then we go ADBA is right in the middle, and then APA is bottom. Then we go UKC. So
yeah,
they're right, they're teetering there with them. So
yeah,
I don't pull UKC and I don't pull APA, and it's no harm, no foul for anybody that wants to pull there. It's just that it's kind of a waste of a good dog. I hate to
yeah,
say it. You know,
yeah,
I hate to put it like that. I just don't really have the words to say for it. But at one time, APA was the pinnacle to pull. They were, if you
yeah,
weren't pulling APA, you weren't pulling nowhere. But in recent years, I guess it changed hands, ownership, and you know, instead of trying to make it as competitive as possible, they kind of pushed more of the competitors to go to UPF, and then they wanted to keep more of the,
yeah,
want more of the newer dogs and dogs that just, weren't as competitive. They kept them there, and now this is what they have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it's a pity, but that's the stuff that happens sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So the first show I thought we were gonna talk about was the ADBA show because that's
Yes.
the first nationals and when I didn't watch as much of that as the UPF
Okay.
by some reason, but I tried to watch it. I watched a lot of hours, but it was a long show.
Yes.
But one thing that struck me is that you do the it's not per weight class. Just the weight on the cart just adding up, and then whenever it's time to go, you go with your dog.
Yes.
Yeah, because over
So,
here we do it in weight classes, and it starts from scratch from each
mhm.
weight class. So
Yeah, but what we found over here is that, because we used to do it like that, like IWPA, we used to do that. And what you find is that some of the dogs that pull in the bigger classes, they still going to pull the same weights as the 20 pounders. They're going to still pull some of the same weights as the 30s. They're going to still pull some of the same weights as the hundreds. So we just found, well, shit, if you guys are going to do this, we might as well pull together. Then that way, it goes a lot faster, because back in the day, man, we would pull from 7 in the morning, sometimes to 1 in the morning, 2, 3. 2 or 3 years ago in Texas, ADBA Nationals, we weighed in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we were there till about 6 a.m. the next day. So it was
oh
23 hours of pulling. So we try to come up with ways to make it go faster. And it's no difference if the 20 pounders, if you got a guy that's going to pull his 100 pounder with the 20 pounders, we might as well just let them all
yeah,
do it together. It's,
yeah, of
it's
course,
faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and it's still long shows, but
Hmm.
better with like 10 hours than 23 hours, I
Yes.
presume. Yeah, and it's
Yes.
easier for
100%.
the guys that load the bar, load the
The
cart.
block.
It's
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
way easier. Yeah. So and that was it's nice to see. It's the same sport, but it's quite different anyways.
Yes.
And both. both shows had like a flat rail, no incline at
Mhm.
all. Yeah.
No incline on neither one. But
No.
there was a difference in the tracks.
Yeah.
So the one track were made by the same gentleman. But I guess the one for ADBA might have needed a little bit of TLC, tender love and care. It just was pulling a little slower, a little more hard out the hole. So but pulling is pulling. I don't mind pulling on a hard track or one that's a little easier. And then when you go to the UPF track, that had it kind of came out of the hole, but it had the first about 3 to 4 feet, it was just a real steady grind, and as long as the dog worked hard through the pull, they would get it. Where ADBA, they had to work hard all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting because it's the same type of tracks built from the same guy, but yeah,
Yes.
the maintenance makes the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, the maintenance makes a difference. So that particular track at UPF, we only use it at UPF. It stays in a barn. It doesn't get any water on it, no condensation, no nothing. It's in Kansas. Kansas is really dry weather, so it just stays like that. We literally pull on it once a year and we put it back up.
Oh, so
Yes.
it's just the Nationals track.
That is the Nationals track. It doesn't do anything else.
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome. Yeah, and
Yes.
that one was a really really good track.
Oh man, it's beautiful, man. One day, man, I pray you guys get to come over, man, and
Yeah.
get to hang out with us for a national. You guys will love it.
Yeah, it
Oh
looked
my
like
God, you will love it.
yeah, it looked really
Mhm.
really nice.
Yes.
The environment is yeah, everybody cheering for everybody, and yeah, it
Yes.
looks really at least on the streams, it looked really nice, and
It
typically in
is.
person, it's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's way better in person. UPF was, I mean, it's the place to be.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really, really nice. I stayed in and watched the prize ceremony as well. So it was
Yeah.
really, really good. Yeah, yeah. That was perfect because that was when I woke up in the morning. So
Really?
so I had a couple of hours of sleep, and then I woke up, and then I could
Mhm.
watch the prize ceremony. So that was
Really?
really,
So
really
what
good.
time
Yeah.
is it there now?
So now it's 7 or 1900 hours here. So yeah, so 7 p.m. or
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
always get the AM and PM wrong. So
Yes.
yeah, so 7 p.m. And we had today we had the issues with the daylight saving times. I realized after a while.
I think ours happened tomorrow.
Yeah. So we had it,
Yes.
I think, a week ago or something. So
Mhm.
yeah, so now it's an hour less between you and me. So yeah, but yeah, it's always something. Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. But it's really, really nice to see you again.
Yes,
And
hey, no, 100%. I've been biting at the bit to get this done.
yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
That's nice. Yeah, and we can see behind you. It went really, really well for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it end up so ADBA I got first place with Kelly. I got most weight pull per pound, 45 and under female. Little Mouse, she was there. She got second place. She took second to one of her nieces. She was 19 pounds. Mouse was about 24 pounds. And then Kelly's sister JT, which is Tokyo bred to Max. That's she took first place in the 6 to 9 female in the show ring and got honorable mentions as well. So and then at UPF I got Kelly, she got most weight pull per pound. She got most weight pull top dog and first place in the lightweight division. So she won everything you could win. She also got a ribbon for most heart and I also got the Sportsman of the Year award.
yeah, we can
Yeah.
see that behind you. At least
Yes.
we can
There
see.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, there it is. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of a grand slam, so to speak.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was a great year for me, man. Kelly is again my production. I train her, I pull her, I produced her. She's the best of the best from two dogs. Both lines match up. You know, she just a really amazing dog. You know, I'm expecting the same thing out of JT. I got a couple I got some stuff coming soon. I'll be breeding Kelly next year, which is gonna be an amazing epic litter. There's gonna be an
Yeah,
epic litter. I got 2 breedings planned for, and either one of those breedings will be, I mean, you should be chomping at the bits to try to get something out of it. It's
yeah,
gonna be amazing.
yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So, if we start with the ADBA show, is it hard to know when to go to start pulling with a dog like Kelly because she's so good?
Well, not really. So remember the rules of the ADBA. Once you come in, you only get 4 passes.
Yeah,
So once you know this, if you say, if I come in too early with Kelly, that means she's going to be pulling every single pull. Don't mean that I'm not going to win. It just means that I'm going to burn her out or wear her out faster than I would just pulling her like I normally would. And then another thing, a lot of these dogs that I competed with at ADBA Nationals, I competed with at some point during the year, right? So from February to October, October, I competed with these dogs. So I knew Kelly at that time when she was younger. I knew she was, a step ahead of those dogs. So now that she's 19 months, I knew that she was even further away. So it was like, if these dogs are pulling, there's no need for me to come in. And also, I'm going for the win, man. You know, she was the biggest dog. I mean, she was actually the biggest dog in her class. There was dogs that were 5 pounds and 6 pounds under her. So if I want to win, I got to go for the win. You know, and this is how we pull all year, and this is how I'm going to continue it at Nationals. I don't
yeah.
change much.
No. So,
Yeah.
how many shows had you done before nationals this year?
Okay, so the very first show was a UPF show that was in, I think it was the end of January, and then I had an ADBA show in February. I had a UPF show in March. I had a show in April. I had 2 shows in May, 1 show in June. So about 6 or 7 shows that we went to. And then in June, Kelly went on break. She did a break from June to August. And that was the just her taking a break so she can get ready for nationals in August. So we took a 8-week break, and then we came back on a 6-week keep and got ready for ADBA, and then the 8-week was UPS. Yeah, it's a science to it, man. It's a method to my madness, but
Yeah.
it's working. It works.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We can see that it works really, really good. So,
yeah,
but then you have competed pretty much against all the other dogs at nationals earlier
yes,
this year. Yeah,
yeah,
so you could feed off of their pools and
yes.
then know when to enter with Kelly.
Yeah,
So
and you also have to have confidence in your training, confidence in your keep, confidence in your conditioning, confidence in your dog. You know, I know she's going to give me 1,000% every time. You know, and when you have that kind of confidence, you can do things like that. When you don't, and you're unsure or you don't think it's going to make it, you know, now you put doubt into it. You better come in. But when you got the confidence that I have in Machine Gun Kelly, you know, I feel like she can do anything. If I hook her to the back of my house coming down. You know, that's how I
yeah,
feel about her. That is
that
exactly how I feel about Kelly.
yeah, and that's amazing, and that's the type of mentality you want in a
Yes.
pulling dog. Yeah. Yeah, we got unlimited skips here, so at least I typically went in too early, and then I
Mhm.
had to sit and wait, and yeah,
Yes.
and that was the biggest issue for me often that I entered too early, and then it was a long period between
Yes.
pulls,
Yeah.
and then the energy, yeah, sometimes it was gone, and sometimes it stayed, but yeah,
Yeah, see what you do once you put that harness on a dog, just like us, that adrenaline raises. Soon as that adrenaline raises, you know, sometimes you got a short time to keep it. You know, where the dog is in this high drive and ready to go. But if you put them in too early, that adrenaline raises, then they go to sleep in the cage, then it goes away. Then you trying to get it back. Sometimes it doesn't come back. So that's why it's you got to do it at the optimal time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it struck me when I watched this that because you do it just in all classes at the same time, pretty much, then it's more rest between pulls for each
Yeah.
dog. Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense,
So
right?
yeah,
I mean, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. You know, this is a strong man competition or a strong dog competition, not a endurance. It's not a which dog can pull 3 pounds 50 times. It's which dog can pull the most weight. So if you understand that, that means that rest is good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So because we have over here, it's maximum 2 minutes
Hmm.
rest between pulls if you follow
Hmm.
yourself. But
Hmm.
here it's that maybe the heaviest dogs in the end,
Hmm.
maybe they were
Yeah.
on that type of situation for you guys. But otherwise, all the dogs got at least 5 minutes rest between pulls, and even more
Yes.
sometimes. And yeah, that's optimal.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Great. So, do you remember what weight Kelly pulled in ADBA?
Kelly pulled her first pull was 3,100 pounds, and the second pull that I went for the win was 3,500 pounds in 15 seconds, and it was 15 seconds, and she took everything.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she only had two pulls.
2 pulls, 2 fast pulls. No
That's
stress, no
no.
no anything. But see, I had a plan, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't put too much on her before UPF, right? So that was my plan, and I came in and everything worked out perfect. Literally 2 pulls. Uh, I think the first pull was about 12 seconds. The second one was about 14 to 15 seconds, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's amazing. Yeah,
Yes,
I thought I missed her
hmm,
sometimes when I watched it, but
yeah,
then it was only two times.
yes. It
Yeah,
was only twice.
only twice. Yeah, but she had a couple of more pulls in the UPF.
Yeah, in the UPF, she pulled 3 times. So
Yeah. Oh,
I think she came in at maybe seven, about 7,000, and that was a warm up for it. So about 75, 7,000. Then I came in again at like 87. So it was about 70. It's about 77, and then about 87, and then her last pull was 99. So she pulled 9,900 pounds, and that was for everything, for all the marbles. I mean, all the 19-pound dogs, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. I mean, she literally, highest weight, most weight pull per pound over everybody in the lightweight division.
yeah. It
Yeah.
wasn't that many heavyweight dogs that outpulled her in
No, no,
weight.
it
No.
wasn't. Maybe 4 dogs.
Yeah.
Out of all 65 or 67 dogs we had there, she was about number 4 or 5 as far as most weight pull is concerned, and she was number
Yeah.
1 in percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. That
Yes.
and the percentage was huge, like
Yes.
276 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It,
That's
it was
yeah.
pretty high.
Yeah.
Yes, it was pretty high.
uh, and yeah, so with the Bully Max show, it was like 1,200 or
She
what?
pulled 11. It was like 11.4 or
Oh
11.7,
yeah,
something like that. Yeah, like
yeah.
11,400 pounds maybe. And again, really good track. But the Bully Max show, Kelly wasn't even a year old yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
at Bully Max, she was still about right at 11 months old. That was in the beginning of the year. Her birthday is like March the 23rd or something like that, or 26th. So she was still 11 months old at that show, and for her to do that kind of performance, I already knew if I can stay the course, all I got to do is let her grow, and
yeah,
it'll keep going up, and it worked, man. So
yeah,
next year, I'm expecting even more out of Kelly. So that means that if she was able to do this at 19 months, just imagine what she'll do at 36,
yeah,
36 months or 40 months, when she's 2 or 3 years old, she should be stronger,
yeah,
a woman, more mature,
yeah.
more muscle.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. She haven't grown all the way
No.
um at this time. So yeah, she will put it
Yeah.
on a lot of muscles. Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
And it's quite interesting because in my mind the Bullmax track was something else, but the
Yes.
UPF track is not that far away.
No, it's not.
When
It's not. And truthfully honest, so the 9,900 pounds, it wasn't Kelly's max. Like, I probably could have got on there and pulled probably another 200 or 300 pounds. And guess what? That's where all the big dogs fell off. I literally did my 39-pound dog probably could have pulled about 200 more pounds, 300 more pounds maybe. But you know, once I got everything, now it's like, what am I going for? Do I go for pride? Look, I mean, I have nothing else to prove, you know. And see, and that's my motto, man. I don't let pride get in the way of the dog sports. And that's the biggest way to ruin a dog, is to let man's pride get in the way of the dog. So I never do it, man. Once the dog is done, they're done. You know, next year we'll do it again. If somebody come out with a better dog in their class, now we got to work. You know, but
Yeah.
until then, we're gonna keep on taking these wins, and I'm gonna keep pulling her when she got everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's that's really really good words to hear, because the pride that comes in the way from many pullers out there that they want to do it even more than the dog is capable of. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something. So, and like, I'm very blessed to have really good dogs, and you know, I can't say that enough. You know, normally all year Kelly has won her class. She's won it easily. I didn't have to really put super amounts of stress on her or anything. You know, but I watch some people pull, and they stress the dog every show from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and you start to see the decline of the dog. You see the dogs go from, soon as they start, they pulling, bam, they coming right out, to the dog waits about a second, then they come out. Then it's 2 seconds. Then it's 3 seconds. Then they're, come on, guy, come on, buddy, let's go. Help, come on with me, you know. And they're burning the dogs out, and they're burning them out at a young age, you know, and they don't really get this. And then once they get that bad taste in their mouth, the dog never comes back from it. You know, no matter how good the dog is.
No, and it needs a miracle to change
Yes.
that. And it's
Yes.
it doesn't matter how hard you work, because once you've broken them, then they are
Yes.
broken. Yeah.
They're broken.
And the confidence in their handler is lost
Yes,
when
100%.
when you keep pushing all the way. Yeah. All
So
the
let's
time.
just say Kelly wasn't as good as she is, and I had to pull her. If I had to take second place, third place, third place, I would rather take third place. When Nationals get here, now we're gonna dance.
Yeah.
The big dance is Nationals, not these little shows, and that's what people have to remember. These shows are just for fun. They just for points. They just to get you ready for the big dance. And see, a lot of people don't. They think the show is everything. It's not. You know, it's not everything. Nationals is everything. That's the one that gives you the champion title. That's the one that gives you, actually, it gives you the most points. It gives you, that's the one where you can seal the deal for dog of the year. Nationals, not these shows, you know. So
No.
people got to understand that.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there a big point difference when you win nationals compared to a regular show?
Yes, I want to say like the ace points are double.
Oh.
So you get double the points. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, as far as rank points, it's the dogs you beat.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
as far as ace points, it's double. But the rank points, no.
No. So and the ace points it's they are important.
Yes.
Yeah. So dog of the year, it's the ace points that you count there, or is
That's
it
rank points.
rank points? Yeah.
Yes. So it goes off of every dog she beats. So right now she's in the low 40s. I'm expecting after Texas her to be about 50, low 50s. Yeah, low to mid 50s. And that should be enough to take it. Right now she's actually ranked number 3 in the regular class. She's like 2 points behind the number 1 dog. So, you know, which is, if I would have stayed regular, she would have probably got those points at nationals and would have took it. But I went ahead and let her ace, and I kept on running her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's only running off of points from about May. So May she turned over to be an ace, and all that stuff was just, that's when she started to accumulate ace points.
Okay. So
Yes.
once you get the ace, then you don't then it's a new set of points that you.
Yeah, it starts at
Yeah.
ground zero.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's quite good actually, because then you have two difference. You have the the aces, the really good ones that compete
Mhm.
against each other, and then you have
Yeah.
the regular ones. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
nice. So I've been reading a little bit on the rules, but I can't really I can't remember all of them. I tried to especially the ace thing. I
Yeah.
started to investigate a little bit in but there are some rules in the EWPA, over here that I at least I think we need to change. So I've been talking more about those and thinking about those. So
Yeah. Well, you know what? If you're not trying to evolve, you're not trying to stay alive.
yeah,
You know, if I don't care what organization, what IWPA, APA, UPF, ADBA, they should constantly be trying to evolve. Dogs are getting better. This is getting better. You know, some of the rules that might have made sense to a guy then because they were training huskies or this kind of dog might be different now. The
yeah,
huskies are even better. You know what I
yeah,
mean? The Malamutes are even pulling more. So
yeah.
if you're not trying to evolve, you're not trying to stay alive.
No, I think that's quite important to evolve the rule set to get
Yeah.
more exciting shows as well. So
Yes. Yes.
and it's a couple of things over here at least that I think we should change, especially after watching nationals.
Yes.
Both, I think we can adopt some of those. So,
Oh
but
yeah, no,
yeah,
100%. If you guys need any help, man, I'm always a phone call away or
nice.
a Skype away or podcast away. Whatever you
Yeah,
want to do, you can get on a couple people on here, man. I don't
yeah,
mind debating or going why this is good, this is better, what makes this work. Let me know.
yeah. Yeah, it would be really nice. We are thinking about having a live podcast at some
Okay.
point. We're discussing the rules of the
Yeah.
EWPL. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to uh, see not only what I think, but what other guys thinks as well. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Is there a lot of rule discussions over there when it comes to different
Yeah, yes,
organizations?
yes, it is. So normally, if we're going to change anything, UPF, we do it right before nationals. The night before, we might have a board meeting, and we put everything on the table. Hey, I think this should be changed, or this. What do you guys think of this, and this? Yay, nay. ADBA every 2 years there's convention, which is coming up in February, the weekend of Valentine's Day.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll be in convention. I'll be in convention. So we'll be there. We'll discuss rules and things that can possibly change for the better, that, things that aren't helping, things that maybe went wrong and that we can fix. So we do that every 2 years, ADBA, every year UPF, and I'm not sure APA because they're still running the same way, that
Yeah,
they've been running for years. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's always we have after the international championship here. After that, they can change the rule every year, and they start the season starts in February. Then
Yes.
after that, so it's now it's no season over here because it should be snow pretty much now over here. So
What's the weather like there?
yeah, it's raining. Yeah,
Okay.
I live in the sewage of Sweden, so
Okay.
we have the most rain days
Well,
in the
hey,
whole
look,
country. Yeah,
I rather rain than snow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It comes to a point when it's really cold and it rains. It's way tougher to be outside than when it snows.
Is
So
it because the ice?
no, it's ice as well, but it's something with the humidity when it
Yes.
rains. So when it snows, it's a little bit drier out, and then it
Yes.
doesn't feel as cold.
Cold.
So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, and I think it's psychologically as well, because when you
Yeah.
see it's white outside, you take a little
Hmm.
bit more clothes on, and
Hmm.
then you're
Yeah.
automatically warmer. So yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Uh, yeah. So it's but yeah, I hope a lot of the guys are still training. So I've been seeing a little bit on online that some at least are training, some taking a longer off season here, and it's a little bit different from person to person.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about how did you train with Kelly and Mouse up to before the nationals?
Uh, so I normally run an 8-week keep, and by nationals being so close, I had to I picked to stretch my keep out to 8 weeks to UPF because that was the big dance for me. And but we did treadmill, we did weight pulling in the field, and I just stayed consistent with them, and I made sure they got as much rest as they did work. That's a big key, man. Some guys will work these dogs into injury, and I like to work them, and I'll watch them. If on their off days they seem a little more tired, or if the next day when they're supposed to work they're still tired, I'll give them another day off. And sometimes I'll even raise the food on days that they work, and on days that they don't work, I'll lower it a little bit because they don't need as many calories. They're just sleeping. So I'll raise it on days they work and lower it on days they not. But we run slat mill, tread, carpet mill, email, I take them, throw balls with them. I have spring pole that I work with the dog. So I incorporate all that into my training plan, and it
Yeah,
works. And the dogs love it. They love to ball. They love to spring pole. They love to play with my tether tug I have outside. I have a piece of cowhide on it. Dude, they love to just do this stuff. So it makes it easy for me. So normally, sometimes I'll take and put them in my backyard. They'll hit the tug, and or they'll hit the spring pole, and I'll go do chores. I'll go do
yeah,
dog chores while they're working out, and I'll put my timer on. And when I go back, I'll pull them off, water them, and put them up.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that sounds nice. So,
yeah,
and do you always have a longer resting period before the keep starts, before
yes,
nationals, or yeah,
yes. You always. So what I found, in recent years, man, and I made bad decisions and all kind of things, man. Trying to pull a dog from the beginning of the year to the end, it doesn't work. You got to give them a reset. You got to give them 8 weeks, 8 weeks of rest before you can come back and put another 8 weeks of work on them. So I normally like I'll pull them 6 months in a row, and then when it's getting close to nationals, June, we go up. 8 weeks, and then I got 8 weeks of conditioning before nationals. So always give them that reset. If you don't, they're gonna decline. You have to give them the 8 weeks. I don't know what it is. I don't even understand the science behind it. But I do know that if you don't give them 8 weeks of rest, they're gonna decline.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And yeah, the rest is really important. Yeah, I think at least I rested my dogs a little bit
yes,
to not to the extent that they needed when I was
yes,
really active,
yeah.
pulling them way too many days a week, and
But
yeah,
what I found is even mentally, my dogs are by the time they go on rest, they're ready for it. They're
yeah,
ready. I noticed for the first 2 or 3 weeks, they're just calm.
yeah,
Probably that fourth week, I see them start to get edgy. And they're moving a lot more. They running harder, and then so right around this time, I'll start throwing the ball more with them and doing things that just is what they think is, oh, this is so fun. But for me, I'm still keeping them in a little bit of shape, and it kind of mentally rebuilds them, repairs them, reboots them, and they come out when I'm ready to start back conditioning. Dude, Kelly, she's ready.
yeah,
She's ready. And truthfully, when I first come back, I'm working them so light because I don't want to injure them. I'm working them so light that when I take them off, she's looking at me like, "Hey, what are you doing?" She's spinning around like, "Hey, hey, hook me back up."
yeah,
And what I do, I build off of that will to want to work. And see, it just comes from, you got to understand dogs. You have to understand dogs. You got to understand your dogs, and in order for you to know what makes them tick.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And the will to work is that's the biggest thing to take advantage of.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the
Always
physical part,
capitalize.
it's I shouldn't say easy, but it's easier to get a strong dog physically
Yeah.
than to get a dog that wants to pull no matter what, mentally. Yeah.
And sometimes, man, I can look at a dog on a track and see and look in their eyes and see they're burned out, or look at their mouth. Like if you ever watch Kelly pull, she's expressionless. She has no expression on her face. She's solid coming down the track. She never takes her eyes off me. If you watch Kelly, if you look at my video on Facebook, Kelly never takes her eyes off me 1 second. If you go through and you look at the live and look at some people's dogs, they're looking to the side. You'll see their eyes side to side, side to side. They're looking for a way out. Or you'll see them mouth breathing. You know, Kelly never mouth breathes. She always breathes through her nose, through her nose. You know, when you start seeing dogs mouth breathe, that means they're stressing out. Sometimes if you listen hard enough, you'll hear, you know, it's stress, you know. So a lot of people just don't read their dogs good enough to know when to stop.
No.
Yeah.
And it's quite amazing to see, because it's when Kelly pulls, it's so obvious that she's not at her max.
No, nowhere near it.
No, so it's
nowhere near.
and kind of it's I can imagine for your competitors that they're a little bit irritated.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you can see that a couple of dogs at all shows are doing the best they ever done, and so they are like 110% of their max. But Kelly, she's like at 80 and still wins.
So you know what I attribute that to? One, she has amazing genetics. Her dad is fresh. He's probably one of the baddest males. I mean, the most winners males, the strongest males in the last decade. So from about Fresh is about 10 now, 25. So from about 2015, 16 up, Fresh was the dog to beat. He competed with, you know, he was a 56 to 60 pound dog. He competed against the American Bulldogs for most weight pull. I mean, you know, he was the dog to beat. You know, and then her mom, which is Tokyo, you know, when I had her out there, she was just like Kelly. You know, when I put her on the track, she would do whatever it took to get it up the track. And she had amazing form like Kelly, real strong nerves like Kelly do. Fresh had real strong nerves. And the good thing about Kelly, about Tokyo and Fresh is it's a line breeding. So again, when you put this together, instead of me breeding an outcross where you're gonna get half of this, and some of this, I'm doubling up on this and I'm locking it. You know, and with Kelly, she was the ultimate. She's the best of the best out of her litter. Tokyo was the best of the best out of her litter. Fresh, the best of the best out of his litter. And guess what? If I continue that, I'm gonna just keep on climbing and climbing and climbing, you know, because Kelly's mom, Tokyo, set a very high standard for me. And then Kelly came and she killed her mom's standard, you know. And now I have JT, which I'm expecting to, you know, even go over Kelly, you know, or match it or go over it, you know. So once I breed Kelly, man, I'm looking for those puppies to kind of blow their mom out the water and keep sending this standard up, man. This is what I'm breeding to better the line. If you're just breeding to make money, you're doing yourself a disservice and the dogs. But when you're breeding to make better, dude, it's hard to beat that. It is hard to beat that.
Yeah, and when you have such a I can't find the words now, but the way to evaluate the dog. When you see Kelly, she's like the perfect weight pull dog. So it's an easy criteria, and then I'm sure you have a lot of others criteria as well. But
most definitely. My biggest criteria when I'm dealing with puppies, and sometimes out of a litter, I might take 3 or 4 puppies, and I'll train all 3 or 4 of these dogs. Literally, Kelly will train and all 3 of her brothers, right, and sisters. And what I'm looking for dogs that don't give me a hard time. I'm looking for dogs that are easily trainable dogs that want to be with you. And because when I send you a dog, I don't want you to say, this fucking dog don't even want to hang out with me. You know, I want you to say, I put him in a harness and he knew what to do right away. You know what I mean? That's her mom was like that. Fresh was like that. Kelly's like that. When I breed her, I'm gonna make sure I breed her to a dog like that, you know. And I
Yeah.
constantly, if you keep breeding for this stuff, the traits they gotta come out. They have to come out, and that's what I really look for. And then as I'm pulling these dogs, what I notice is that some of the dogs, they all pulling the same weight, but some of them will get done 2 or 3 minutes faster. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, this dog is strong. Is it
Yeah.
strength or what is it? So then you'll keep noticing, and then as I go up in weight, some of the dogs might struggle at this weight, and I'll say, hey, I'm
Yeah.
gonna take you back. But
Yeah.
here go Kelly. She kept going up and she never slowed down. So I
No.
said, dude, this dog is special. So that's when I started to evaluate and say, okay, this one right here, I'll keep my eye on. These right here, I'm gonna work with it, and I'm gonna keep testing. And I don't stop testing with them, man. I'll train a dog up to about 6 months, and then at that 6 months, then I make my choice, especially what I'm keeping. But that doesn't say that those other dogs were bad. They're actually
No.
badass. They're good dogs, but I'm looking for that diamond in the rough, which is Kelly. These dogs right here can go to anybody's show and win, can go to anybody's nationals and win, and go, but then when I bring Kelly in, dude, there's just like, she's here and they're here,
Yeah.
but that don't mean these dogs are bad. They don't mean that they can't produce Kellys. They don't mean that they can't produce amazing dogs. It's just that for my line, I want the best of the best to the best to the best to the
Yeah.
best. And that's how I'm gonna continue to breed like that. And as long as I keep that standard, when I send my dogs over to Europe to you guys, guess what? You guys will be able to breed them, and you guys will keep on. Oh man, dude, hey man, we're creating these dogs just like this. This is easy.
Yeah.
I want to take the guesswork out for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really, really nice because
Yes.
yeah, a lot of at least here in Scandinavia, a lot of the dogs are they are showbred
Yes.
dogs. Yeah, so
Yes.
we have a couple of, especially now, one Staffordshire Bull Terrier
Mhm.
breeder. Those are Waypole dogs, and you can see that now. She has a um, I'm not sure how old she is, but around 2 now, because over here they can't start competing until they are 18 months. So
Really?
yeah. So
There
that's
go
that.
another rule I would change. Now, you don't have to kill puppies. You don't have to hurt them. You don't gotta do this, do that, do the other. But to wait till 18 months to let them start experiencing the show life is too late, because I only have so much while they're in their prime time. I think right around 18, 19 months is prime real estate for dogs. Prime time, prime strength, prime. It's just the prime time for muscles in dogs. And then I think that go until about 5, 6 years old. So if you're waiting till 18 months, damn near 2 years old, dude, you're losing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, we can see that because a lot of the best dogs, they are around 3 or 4, or like 7, 8, maybe
Hmm.
9 as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
we have a couple of really, really good old dogs, but yeah, but especially from this breeder, she has a super dog at the moment, and
Really.
you can see it. She doesn't really look like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. It's more, but she's that. Yeah, that's an amazing dog, and it shows when you weed for weight pulling dogs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eventually it starts to show when you select, with that in mind,
Hmm.
not
Oh
the
yeah.
shows only. So yeah.
Yeah, man. But you know what, man? But I definitely thrive for perfection. So like, I will show Kelly this year. Try to get her championship this year, because she's a beautiful dog. She's perfect in all ways. Her sister JT has showed in 2 different shows, and she won the show. Both shows she was in. So I thrive to have very conformationally correct dogs, along with the trainability and workability. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to build an all around dog. So you like, if I want one of you guys, I take a dog like Kelly, or a dog like something bred similar to Kelly, and I find the nicest show dog, great muscle tone, great, pasterns, angulation, And now I put them together, because now you got to start your own thing, right? You put them together, and then that's when you start. Now you can't give all those away. You got to put them in people's hands that work them, or you got to keep them yourself, and then you find your dogs. Now you start working with that stuff, and going like that. But you guys, man, you guys are man, you guys are where it is.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot
Yeah.
of people pulling there.
Yeah, we do, and it feels like the sport, the pandemic and everything around that kind of killed off the old guard, so to speak, and a
Yes.
lot of new people after that.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's growing, and the EWPL championships was a really really good show, and I hope we're gonna see a lot of new dogs next year as well. So it
Yeah.
starts to grow even more. And yeah, there are some rumors. We need to have a veterinarian on call, all the or on site the whole
Mhm.
show, and that's really good, but it costs a lot of money. So
Yes.
and I think it's like something around maybe $85-$90 an hour
So
for
who
the
came
vet
up
to
who came up
be
with that rule?
the government. So weight pulling is classed as a high risk sport. Um, but that's the rumor is now that they eventually here is gonna uh, class it down to medium
Yeah.
class. So and then we're still gonna need to have a veterinarian to check all the dogs before the show.
I like that.
But
That's not bad.
yeah, and that's really good, and that's what we want, because it's really nice if you do like 5 or 6 shows a year, you get a vet to look at your dog for free, pretty much
Mhm.
5 or 6 times a year, but then they can go home. So and that's gonna decrease the costs of putting on a show by 80% or something. So
Wow.
yeah, and then all of a sudden people can do even more with the shows, even better
Yes.
tracks, and as I think we talked about that last time, a good track
Mhm.
that will make sure that it comes more competitors.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yeah, man, I love it, man. That's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, so I hope we're gonna go that way at least. And we've been talking about this for at least 10 years to get the high risk classification down to medium risk,
Yeah.
and now it finally, at least the rumors I've heard. So hopefully,
The biggest problem with those rules and the government getting in this sport is that people that don't do the sport are making rules. So they don't know whether it's high risk or not.
exactly.
How many dogs have you had hurt on a track at your shows?
I think I've been doing this now for 15 years, pretty much,
Mhm.
and I think we have 1 or 2 dogs that had an injury on the track, and it was
Mhm.
one paw that
Mhm.
was like a cut in the paw,
Yeah.
uh, and another one was like bit by a mosquito, not mosquito, a wasp.
Okay.
So,
So
and that
we
wasn't weight pulling, yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that could happen anytime,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So now the cut on the paw the dog could have had a cut on the paw from 4 days ago, and then the carpet just aggravated it. That it didn't have to happen at that show. And it did and it could have happened as the dog was walking up to the track. It could have been they could have took him in the woods, cut it on a rock, and then came in. So it doesn't, necessarily even have to be a weight pull injury. But again, people making rules for a sport that they're not in is not good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the government here, it's a lot of difference between at least Sweden and the U.S. The government is very involved in everything here. Over here, when it comes to regulations, and the weight pulling, it was automatically a high risk sport when it came, because nobody
Mhm.
knew anything about it, and
Yeah.
then they haven't discussed this in 20 years, pretty much. So hopefully they will discuss it, because we have veterinarian reports from 15 years
Yeah.
of
So now it's time for you
yeah
to put a suit on, man, and go
yeah
go sit in front of them and say, "Hey, look, we got to change this."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hope we can do that. We have a girl that's in contact with them, and she's the sweetest one ever. So I think she can get this happen pretty soon, and
Okay.
that would make a big difference. Because the economics of putting on a show here is quite big.
Yeah.
Um, it costs it's like $40 to compete each day, and it typically is Saturday and Sunday, and for the organizer to break even, they need 25 to 30 dogs to
Hmm.
just cover the veterinarian cost.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's a little bit tough. It's not that many shows a year because of that. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you
So
guys, I
hopefully,
think you guys are gonna get it fixed.
yeah, I think so as well. It's never been brighter, at least at the
Yeah.
moment. So that's good. Awesome. I was a little bit more interested when it comes to the keep.
Hmm.
How it's always hard to say, but how heavy is the pulse? You start easy in the
Hmm.
beginning, but how heavy is it? Like week in this case, you had two nationals, so like week 5, because or week 6 before the ADBA. Do you go heavy until the show, or do you ease off before? Or
Okay, I can give you ideas. So it's always going to be different. I might have a different grass. My grass might be greener longer. Some people grass turn brown, quicker because of the sun. Some people get more rain, so their grass is wet, is cold, is so it's a lot of variables that play. But when I started to condition Kelly, I think she was pulling about 40 pounds on my tire. I have a tire. So the way my tire works is one tire. I stack the weight on top of the tire, has a pole in the middle. I'll send you a
yeah,
picture. Maybe you can put a picture in the corner.
yeah,
But it has pole in the middle. I can stack the weight on it. So she started with about 40 pounds, and I would only do that maybe 30 yards up, 30 yards back. So maybe 60 yards. And then I work her until she can do that about 100 yards, and then I'll stop, and then I'll add more weight, and then we'll be back down to about 40 to 60 yards again. So I might add 10 pounds on her. Now she's at 50 pounds, and she's back to doing that 50 pounds for 40 to 60 yards. And then once she can do it 100 yards, I add weight. Bam. So now she's at 60 pounds, and she's right back 40 to 60 yards. And then but we're constantly growing. If the dog isn't growing, now you got to think what's going on. Uh, am I not giving enough rest? Am I moving too fast? What's going on? Why isn't the dog not moving? Is she injured? You got to start looking at. You got to make sure there's no parasites. Worms or anything like that. But they should be progressing as the keep go on. And remember, in between my pulling days, I'm putting in the treadmill day. You know what I mean? So they're not only getting a break, they get a treadmill day, a break, and pull. You
yeah,
understand what I mean? So the treadmill day, I kind of look at it as just blood circulating. We getting cardiovascular going, but I'm circulating blood. I should be repairing injuries. Because it's not super hard. They're moving at their own pace, so they're just repairing muscles and getting blood circulating and things like that. But they have, if you notice that your dog isn't progressing, give them a break. Give them a little rest, and then come back and see what happens after that. But something's wrong if they're not progressing like they should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Your dog should be progressing week by week. So, week 1, they should be doing more week 7 days later than they're doing, the last 7 days. Then another 7 days, we should be able to go up a little more. And another 7 days, I should keep progressing until I got this dog. Kelly pulled, I think I worked her 2 days ago. She pulled like 80 pounds for that 100 yards. You understand what I mean? That's a
yeah.
lot. On my
That's a lot.
field, with my tire, with my training, that's a lot of weight, and she's burning it up, so they should be progressing.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like that when you start with let's say a lower weight and a shorter distance, and
Yes.
then you increase the distance, but as
Yes.
soon as you increase the weight, you go down to the shorter distance again,
Yes. Yeah.
because then it's easier to know when you have the progression.
Now
Because if
listen
you
to
all,
this. If
yeah,
Kelly, if I put let's say I go from 40 to 50, and she pulls and she can do the 100 yards, I'll do the 100 yards with her. But 9 times out of 10, when you add that weight, they don't make the 100 yards, And then you also, there's one more variable that I didn't talk about, that's temperature. So remember, most of our training done in the summer, it was 90 degrees, it was 80 degrees sometimes it was 100 degrees. So that plays a big part. How is their breathing, so a lot of that stuff plays a big part too. That's another variable, which is temperature. That's going to play a big part in how hard you can work a dog as well.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And that's when the rest comes in as well. Is it's
Yes.
really, really hot weather, and you need to be out to train
Hmm.
in the daytime, then you need, yeah, more water, more rest, maybe an
Yes.
extra resting day, yes,
Yeah.
because of the high temperature the day that you worked. Yeah,
Yep. 100%.
yeah, yeah. That's it. It's really interesting. It's nice to hear that you have such a uh, uh, well thought out plan.
Yes.
Yeah, because when I, especially on social media, when I look around, I see a lot of people when they train. It doesn't feel like they have a plan with their pulling.
You're
Yeah,
right.
and yeah,
You have
and
to have a
some big,
plan. You got to be. So I always say you have to be a scientist of this sport, or of this whatever sport you're in. If I did fast cat, if I did lower course, if I did wall climb, dude, I can tell you right now, I'll be sitting at home thinking, how can I make this dog jump 20 feet? You
yeah,
understand
of
what I mean?
course,
I'm thinking, how can I go further? What can I do? Changing dog food. Should I pull this much weight off the dog? Or should I add weight? Should I? If you're not a scientist of your sport, you'll never go anywhere. You gotta think about it. You gotta research. You gotta come up with your own ideas. And then sometimes you gotta keep stuff to yourself when you're trying to learn, because everybody will tell you, "Oh, that ain't gonna work. That's not a good idea. I would never do that." But sometimes you gotta try it yourself before you know if it'll work or not, because some people are just, they've learned from somebody else and that's all they know. But I'll take your advice and I'll take this person's advice and I'll take my own advice, and then I'll research all of them and say, hey, this not gonna work as good as this, but if I put them together, they all work better. And sometimes
yeah.
that's the case.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, and you need to give your training some time,
Yes.
also, because yeah, you can't see changes in a week or two when you start a
Yes.
new type of training, so to speak.
Yeah.
You need to give it a little bit time and feel it out, and as you say, you need to be critical about what am I getting out of this when
Yes.
I train, and how does the dog look in this case?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
and know
and,
that.
and because I'm not sponsored, I won't say too much of the stuff I use in my keep, because
Yeah.
we don't want to raise anybody's sales. But definitely your vitamins. Let's say when I put my dogs on that break in June, they come off of all supplements, all vitamins, everything. They're cleaning out. I just let them kind of go through and clean out and reset. And then when I start back in 2 months later or 8 weeks later, I start them back on their vitamins. But remember, them vitamins don't go back in their system and instantly, hey, they're Superman. No, you got to work it in 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes a month, before these vitamins work back to where they're supposed to work. You got to give it that time to work in. So again, that's why I slowly build up. By the time that month comes, oh, now we're ready to put the foot on the gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know everything's worked in. I know everything's going good. So all that plays a part. You have to understand how vitamins work. And I'm a healthy guy now, but when I was younger, man, I played football,
Yeah.
at a high level. And when I stopped that, I lift weights. I worked out. For me to be a big guy, I actually did a lot of jogging and running and stuff like that. So I took all that stuff that I learned from working out and just put it all in one and said, hey, when I did this, I felt like this. When I like did hit training, I needed an extra day of rest. So when I do it with the dogs, I think about that and I watch them hard. If I feel like they need another day, I'll give it to them. Rest is a big key, man. A lot of people will not rest dogs and they need it. They're not robots.
No, and
Yeah.
that's even for us humans. Rest is the best
Yes.
medicine for muscle gains and getting
Yes.
stronger as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
but do you see a difference when you take the supplements, or is it more in best case, or
Yes. Yeah, you see a difference. So do I believe I can get Kelly to where she is without the supplements? Yes. But guess what? You would need more rest. You got vitamins and different supplements. I get like they have Vertex, they got K9 Super Fuel and different things in that, and they're made to build a dog's muscles. They got all the vitamins and nutrients in them to make this dog withstand the workouts that you're given to for you to be able to come faster. So come back working out faster. So let's say I work Kelly today. By the next day, if everything's right on these packagings, I should be able to come back the next day and she should be ready to go. But I still
yeah,
give that rest and let it
yeah,
build all the way up. We make sure all the tears in the muscles are gone, and then we come back out and we re-tear them. You know what I mean? And then we build them back up. Then we re-tear them. When we build them back up, re-tear, build. Until we're at the pinnacle of our training. So yeah, supplementation is key. Now the big part with supplementation is you have to understand what you're giving your dog. And then again, now you get some people where pride comes in again and they start cheating. Because cheating, we know anytime you start to use anabolic steroids on an animal, you're a fucking idiot.
yeah,
You are a fucking idiot if you got to
yeah.
use and I hate to excuse my French,
No, but
but
that's
you're an idiot if you do that because now you're messing up this dog's reproductive system, you're shortening their life, you're messing up internal organs. And dude, Kelly is not just a working dog for me, dude. She's family, so I plan on just like her mom. Her mom had 2 litters for me. Her mom gave me everything she had, the years that she was pulling. And guess what? I can go get her mom and we can chill on the couch right now. I'm not gonna do anything to make that dog leave me faster than she needs to.
no,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
that, yeah, and yeah, I I I totally agree.
Yes.
And a big point here is also to, if you need to have a really good food
Yes. Oh yeah. Very
in the
good.
bottom part of the pyramid, and then the supplements comes over. So, and yeah, and you still use that Chinook. What was it called? Yeah,
A nook shook.
but
Yep.
at
Yeah.
least Nookshuk. So
A
yeah,
nook shook.
so
Yeah.
it's
I
that's
still use it.
a
Yeah.
Nookshuk.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
that's
use the
a really
3232
good.
and it's a really good
Yeah,
food. It works great for my dogs. I don't have to feed a lot of it, which means that a lot of it don't come out the other end. So it's less cleaning for me. It's a high calorie food, like 768 calories a cup. So I mean, dude, it's a great food. It works great.
yeah. Yeah, and when you have that good foundation, then the supplements are more likely to work. At
hmm
least, to my knowledge,
Yeah, no,
that's
no, you're right. You have to be
yeah,
ticking on all cylinders. You can't have great supplementation and bad food, or bad food and you're feeding and you're giving Walmart vitamins, that you just think gonna work. It has to be everything has to be right on the same level. If they're not on the same level, if one here and one here, your dog's gonna always be here. But if they're here, your dog's gonna
exactly.
always be here. So you gotta remember, man, you gotta have good supplementation, good feed, and then your conditioning. You got to understand conditioning, you got to understand rest and all that stuff. When you got it just right, you got Kelly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the day of the competition, you have a weigh-in, I presume, quite early,
Yes.
uh, and I presume you haven't fed any dogs before the weigh-in.
Yeah, so normally when I get to weigh in, So I'm gonna give you 3 days prior. So normally starting Wednesday, I start controlling water. So my dogs, they stay in a conditioned space. They always have AC or they always have heat. So my dogs are not big water drinkers. They as soon as they see water, they gotta drink. They keep gallon buckets in their kennels. So my dogs don't normally run to water fast because they're in conditioned spaces. So on Wednesday, I give I'll just tell you what I did with Kelly. I gave her a quarter cup of water Wednesday, a quarter cup of water Thursday, and a quarter cup of water Friday. That's 3/4 of a cup of water in 3 days, right? So what I like to do is I like to get to the show. I want to be the first on the scale. I get to the show at 4 o'clock, 5 in the morning. I walk her out. While nobody's there, she's not distracted. She can pee, poop. I put her in the cage. The second that they tell me the weigh-in's open, my paperwork's already done. I go hang her on a scale. I put her in the truck and I feed her and give her water and her supplements. She eats and she gets her supplements. And normally with Kelly, she pulls so late that Kelly literally sat in a cage. I walked Kelly 10 times before she pulled. I
Yeah.
walked her 10 different times. So every time I would go to the truck, I would give her water. And maybe I had this stuff called Origin fish powder. So I would give her a little fish powder in her water because it make her want to drink. So I would give her water and fish powder and I would walk her. Then I would come back a little bit later, water, fish powder, walk her, water, fish powder, walk her, water, fish powder, walk her. And she did that 10 times before she pulled. She didn't pull. She weighed in at like 7 in the morning. Kelly didn't pull to probably 7 that evening. That's 12 hours that she had to rehydrate, from what I drawed her down to. So like I said, there's a method, man. If you don't have a plan, you're not gonna win, man. You have to have a
No.
plan. This is a big thing. This is big for me. So I do everything I gotta do to make sure that my dog's in the best shape and the best weight and everything works, like it's supposed
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you always use the hanging scales, or do you have a more
We
modern scale?
So, okay, some shows we go to, we have a walk-on scale, some we have a hanging. I'm truthfully honest, man, the older I get and the more I get into this sport, I think everyone should have walk-on scales. And the best walk-on scale I seen, they had a huge walk-on scale and they had a cage. You stick the dog in the cage, the dog get weighed, the dog come out. Every dog knows how to get in the cage. They go in the cage, they weigh, you know. That I think that's the safest for the dogs, and it looks the best to the public. You understand what I mean? It looks, so when I see somebody hanging the dog, I don't mind. Oh, hey, he hanging the dog. Okay, cool. I do, do that too. But when Miss Johnson from down the street or Miss Susie sees you hanging a dog, oh my God, look how they're doing that dog. Perception is everything. And I think that the perception of hanging a dog versus putting them on a scale, we're gonna have to get with the times. We're gonna have to get walk on scales. We're gonna have to make it comfortable for these dogs. We're gonna have to everything, make it comfortable for the onlookers because this is how you get new people. Oh, I have a dog at home. Oh, I don't mind putting them in a cage and do the scale. But when they see you hanging a dog, oh, I'm not doing that to
No,
Betty or to
exactly.
John or little Josh or whatever they call their dogs. But when they see it, it's nice and easy and everything is catered towards the comfort of the dog, dude, we'll get more people. So I don't mind the hanging scale because this is what I've been using since the beginning of the time. But I think it's time to go with the times and we need to change and get walk on scales.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we have only walk-on scales here. So and
Good.
that's yeah.
Well,
Sometimes we
you
don't use the
the
cage,
hanging.
but
Yeah.
often it's in a separate area. So
Yeah.
so yeah. And I presume you have the same thing. You can't have any collars or anything
No,
on the dog.
no,
Oh,
yeah, you're not supposed now. ADBA, you're not supposed to have collars. Now, UPF, you can have a collar on. They don't. Nobody, it's if you don't take the collar off, it's your bad. You the one that's not getting the
yeah,
percentage. You the one
yeah,
that's gonna have a half a pound more on your dog.
yeah,
That's for you to decide to take that collar off. Most people do because most people pull ADBA and they just go with the same rules.
yeah.
But UPF, you don't have to take your collar off. You can leave it
Okay,
on. If
yeah,
you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had that in the beginning when I started in 2011, 2012. Then you could have the collar on, but then we
Yeah.
had some guy that wanted the dog in a different weight class, so he put on 2 or 3 collars,
Yeah.
and another guy put on
Yeah.
a weighted collar just to get
Yes.
up to the next
Yeah.
weight class.
Now
So
that is different. 3 collars,
yeah,
you only one flat buckle collar, no weights in it. That that's a whole different thing, So that's where you get rule
yeah,
changes and evolutions in the sport where you say no collars. You know what I mean? That's
exactly.
where that evolution came because someone treaded that fine line and said, you know what, well fuck it, a collar's a collar. Weight a collar.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So, I get it.
Yeah. So, but I it works really, really good here, and then yeah, I I always been thinking about when you have the hanging scales, when you have the
Mhm.
really, really heavy dogs, it's
Mhm.
must be really tough for
Yeah.
everybody involved. So the walk on scale is way
Yeah.
easier.
So
Yeah.
Eli has a 175, 170-pound Borbal, and he has a 180-pound Borbal. And he was going to actually come to ADBA, but he told them, he said, look, are you guys going to have a hanging scale or a walk-on scale? And they said a hanging. He said, well, there's no way we can get a walk-on scale because I don't feel it's safe for my 180-pound dog to be hung from his neck and his up on his stomach. He's
Exactly.
180 pounds, and who's going to lift this dog?
Exactly.
So they said, oh no, we can't adjust for you. So that's why he didn't come, which was a shame because he would have got most weight pull if he was there. He would have won his class if he was there. So it was a shame that they didn't compromise and come to some kind of compromise for him to show up with his dogs. But the safety of your dog is way more important than a title. And I understand it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's yeah, I think you are completely right here. This is the evolution that needs to be done
Yes.
to have the walk on scale, and to see so good dogs as Eli has
Yes.
as well on in the shows. So yeah,
Yeah. No. 100%.
awesome. I actually I don't have any more questions prepared for you, but it's always nice to talk to you, w- yeah, actually this was another question that I should have asked before. Uh, the typical location when you have like nationals, is it always indoors and like both? It looked like pretty much a warehouse setting when it was UPF, and ADBA had like a stage where you pulled on.
Yeah, so UPF, it was inside of it wasn't a warehouse. It was a building. It was like a building, and inside of this building, they might have had parties or cabarets or things like that. So, ADBA was inside of an arena. Like
Okay.
arena had dirt on the ground. So the reason that we were up because uh the dog show was in the dirt on the ground, like a horse arena. So the dogs were in the ground and then we were up on the concrete. It's always better to set up a track on the concrete because once you start loading that weight, the cart's gonna settle. It's gonna settle one way or the other. If it settles this way, we're running downhill. If we settle this way, we're running up. So we
Yeah.
try to keep it consistent for the little dogs and the big dogs. We want nobody to feel slighted. So we
Yeah.
always try to have it on concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good. Then it explains it, because ADBA it looked really nice because we had the spectators
Hmm.
standing
Down.
down, so they
Yes.
had a really nice angle to see the
Yes.
dogs pull. Yeah.
Yes.
Because yeah, and that's a, at least in my mind, a issue here. We have the fencing on the sides. We have plexiglass often on the rails on one side, and like some other board on the other side.
So why do you
And
guys do
when the
that?
sun, the rules. Someone decided some years ago that we need to have fencing. Um, and that's in my mind actually a rule that I want to take away, because
Yeah.
especially on the rails, because they are so narrow. Yeah, that's the word. So pictures and even the spectators can't really see the dogs because
Yeah.
the plexiglass, you can't have new plexiglass on every show. So the plexiglass, when it's been a couple of years and it stands outside and it's like scratches all over it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's kind of like that rule. I don't know if you ever heard the expression, you cut your nose off despite your face.
yeah,
If you think about it, one of your rules is the dog have to stay on the line, right? But you got plexiglass to keep them on the track. So you're not going to teach them how to stay on the track, but you're going to teach them how to stay on the line. So it's definitely a weird rule. It's a weird rule. Very weird.
yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was on by some reason I thought that a lot of dogs went off the tracks, and I think here in Europe a lot of dogs go off
Yeah.
the
Same
track.
in America.
Yeah, but when I looked at nationals, there wasn't many dogs that went off the tracks.
Yes.
Most dogs stayed on the track
Yeah.
and pulled very straight.
But you
So
got to remember some of the new dogs. So if you would have seen some of the lives from January where some of the new dogs came in, yeah, they get off the track. They fall off. Eli had one of his Borbos when he first taught her how to pull. He had two of them. His very first son, which is a badass dog. He came off the track his first time. He taught him. He never comes off again. Wednesday came off the track his first day. Did it? He never comes off. But it's something that you got to teach. You teach it. They get off and they say, "Hey, this isn't fun. Let me get back up. It's easier this way." You teach it. It's something that you teach, and it's all of it is a learning process. That's why I always say the shows are to get ready for the nationals. So, you
yeah,
understand what I mean? It's like your
yeah,
kids. You teach your kids at home, hey, don't throw your food, don't throw your fork, use your napkin, eat with your hands on the table, eat like this, don't talk at the table, don't use your phone. So when you go to the restaurant, they're like, dude, you got some well-behaved kids.
yeah,
You understand? It's the same
yeah,
exact
yeah.
thing. And you have to teach it. You got to teach it. Yeah, it's one of those rules I would fight for. I would fight. Like I said, if you want to talk about rules, I can give you all the pointers, and we can get. And I
Yeah,
can
that's
have you.
good.
I can have you ready to go in there, boy. Tear all those rules down. I'm
Yeah,
with you.
that's good. That's really
Yeah.
good. But is it legal to keep pulling once they go off the track, or is that a warning? Or
No. If they get off the track, if you touch them, that's your foul. Now, if you're a good trainer, your dog comes off the track, you go get him. Hey, no, buddy, come on, let's go. And you take your hands and you kind of keep them between them. Come on, bud, stay up here. And then UPF, you get one foul. ADBA, you get three. Normally, once they come off the track, if this is my dog, we're done. Hey, come on, buddy, let's go down. Good job. Come on, let's go to the car. We go home and we practice over and over and over until they get it. If you keep putting the dog on the track after they jump off, they're gonna keep jumping off. You got to go home where it's nothing to distract the dog, and you can just work with them.
yeah,
You
yeah,
could just work with them.
yeah. I think that's one of the rules that we need to change over here.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not the only one that thinks so. So, but yeah, let's take that another time when it's more rule discussions.
Yes.
Awesome. Is there anything that you think that we haven't talked about now that you want to take up?
Only thing I got, I mean, we talked about pretty much everything. Only thing I got is, man, hey, look, keep your eye out, man. When them breeding banners come up, you guys hit me up, man. I got some real high caliber dogs coming in the future, man. FMK, Funnyman Kennel. We got some real high caliber dogs coming. So when you see that breed banner go up on Facebook, contact me in Messenger, and get in this waiting list, man, because it's, dude, I have some serious breedings coming up. I sent the puppy over to a young lady named Valentina in Italy.
Yeah,
She has a
I saw
puppy.
that.
Her name's her call name is, her registered name is FMK's America's Best, and her call name is Tabby, but she is killing it, dude. I'm watching this puppy and I'm like, dude, she's freaking killing it. Man, she's killing it. And
Yeah.
you know, I can see. So like I told you, I see puppies, I watch them, I know when they're serious. Dude, that dog she has is serious. And that's Tokyo, and
Yeah.
that's Max, and that's the FMK breed, and that's the same as JT, which is my female. That's her littermate sister. And the Hausfelds have that little dog they call Doc Holiday.
Yeah.
Dude, those are some serious puppies, and I'm gonna tell you, I got something coming that should outdo those puppies. You know, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys stay on the watch, stay on the lookout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good advice. Yeah,
Yes.
because Tabby and JT and Doc with the
Yes.
hospitals.
Yes.
It was it you or I can't remember who put up some videos of
No,
those three, but
it was me.
looked
Oh yeah.
really good.
Very
It was you.
impressed,
Yeah, yeah,
very impressed with the dogs, man. And so
yeah.
it was 6 puppies out of that litter. Now, let me see. Those 3. There's one that you haven't seen, a guy named James Stevenson has, and I has videos of him. Amazing, a really nice dog. And then there's 2 of them right now that I don't really have a lot of videos in, but they're getting them ready, and all 6 puppies have promise. But if I had to bet my bottom dollar, there's 4 of them right now, and that's 4 out of 6 puppies, and the other ones are just because they're slow to start getting them ready, you
Yeah.
know. But 4
Yeah.
out of 6 puppies right now, they will place at nationals next year.
That's awesome.
That says
That's
a lot.
really
That
good.
says a
Yeah, that
whole
says a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
And all 6 puppies are pulling.
Yeah, man, dude, all
Yeah.
6 puppies are getting busy, no issues. They're doing what they're supposed to. So you can't ask for more than that, you know. And that's what I was saying, man. When I put these dogs together, I'm putting them together for people to get them. And I only have 1 of them. I didn't keep 3 or 4. I just kept 1 puppy. Horsfeld
Yeah.
kept 1 puppy.
Yeah.
Valentina, 1 puppy. Everybody, these are all different people all over different places. They're not close to me. I don't help them. Their puppies are flourishing. It's not because of me. It's because that breeding got together, and all these theories that I have on these dogs came together, and it's working. Yep, and it's
Yeah.
freaking
The
working.
genetics are yeah. The genetics are really good, and it
Yes,
shows.
man. Genetics are
Yeah.
great. And the crazy part is, if Valentina takes her dog and she has an inbred, something off of her line, and she breeded to that dog, guess what? She's gonna be able to pick pullers out of that litter. You know what I mean? That's what I was trying to say. You know, you get a dog from somebody that's scatterbred, it's hard to pick the right stuff out of it because it's gonna be all over the place. But when you get the right dogs and you breed them, it's easy to pick pullers out of it, you know.
Yeah.
So man, that's what I was saying, man. You guys, man, watch out. It's coming.
Yeah.
It is coming.
Yeah. It sounds like exciting times.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it really much. Yeah. Awesome. Great. Then let's call it a day this time, and maybe we will be back
right.
after next year or whenever it's time. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, that's no problem, man. I always enjoy this.
Awesome. Great. Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. Thank you.